it they end up catching the boy who did it, and he was 16 years old. And I guess we kind of got to tie that into because it's two conversations going on. Of course, I was listening to Joe Budden on Saturday, and they were having a conversation because the father has been charged for the mass shooting that took place in Georgia at the high school. And of course, I'll play some clips from the news, but the father got charged as well for the same charges as the boy did. And I seen that they were trying to make an argument like, oh, that's gonna be tricky if they're using the white kids to start the example with. What if they start to make these same laws and they still start to judge parents in the black community the same way? And that started up a debate and an argument in which, to me, I agree with, nigga, that shit should go around the whole board. The same, judge them fucking kids the same way you gonna sit here and lock up these kids for doing wild shit and leaving out your parents' house, and the parents will get the same fucking charges. Especially when the charges are that heinous. When we talking about murder and we talking about some of these shits that your kids are just running wild and rampant and goddamn your kid is a menace to society, man, lock the parents up with them fucking kids, dog. I ain't trying to hear them excuses on, hey, I don't know what the kid's supposed to do. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Lock all their ass up.
I mean, in that situation, and because you provided that gun and it was gave access to the gun, but also even when you say talking about what Joe and them said, I kind of get what's name opinion. It's like it can be a tricky situation because it's like I didn't know you had a gun, but that, like I said, that situation where he had a gun, he premeditated and spoke about it before. Yes, you should be. But if you saying you went out and did something, robbed somebody, whatever, I didn't know you had a gun. I didn't even know you going to press me with the same charges.
Because you have to, it's holding them responsible.
It's responsible,
but right? But like I said, when they comparing the two, you bought that gun for that kid. Mm-hmm. You went out there and got that gun. You knew that kid. You had reports before about the kid issues at school. But you saying like for the inner city, because that's what they were trying to get at, was like, well, what if they start doing it to the, in the hood and shit like that? Like if your son got a gun or whatever and he went and killed somebody, I'm gonna hold you accountable for it too. But I feel like that's not fair because what if
you're saying it's not fair? But I feel like that'll make parents think. One, because I'm gonna tell you where it comes fair to, because it got tied going into the conversation we was having last week when you was even sitting here saying, "Hey, I know I just don't have enough time to sit here to be able to be at all my kids. Like if you want to play sports, I'm not gonna be able to be at all the games or be able to sit here and do certain things because my work schedule." Again, all of that kind of trickles down to parenting, where I'm sitting here, reason why I wouldn't be mad if they tied it in and let it come into the inner cities as well and into the black communities and stop, because guess what it'll make people start doing? Thinking twice about having kids. Because if you know for a fact, like when me and you having this conversation and you are well equipped to know, like, hey, what I know that I maybe where I will lack and I've not be able to show up, people got to start having those conversations, because I can't keep hearing the excuse of, oh, I'm tired of work and my kids just outside doing whatever the fuck they want. No, you got to be held accountable for this kid or stop having fucking kids, because if you don't hold people accountable to these same type of standards, then guess what people keep just doing? Keep having kids and not being responsible and using excuses. Well, I don't know what my kid do when they go outside. Well, right, the fuck, stop having so many kids then.
Right. I don't think it's about stop having kids. It's just you have to get back to being in your kid's life and finding out what they're doing, being nosy.
Of course.
No, but okay, but then, but that's why I say I'm just looking at it as when you saying, okay, hey, I'm knocking on their door, or we about to lock you up for whatever your son did. That's just like if it was a car accident. You on my insurance and all that. You get in a car accident now. You about to say, "Well, I'm locking you up because he was driving."
No. But guess what? If they on your insurance, but you still got to take. You still, of course. So you still taking responsibility for what your kid did in that car.
But when you saying, "Well, I'm get you for," he was speeding and he was vehicle manslaughter. You gonna put me on? I wasn't driving the car.
No, but guess what? Guess what? Two things gonna happen though. If just even with that example that you just used, guess what? 9 times out of 10, your insurance company probably will drop you.
Go up, but you telling me
no. But guess what? Your insurance gonna go up, and that insurance company probably will drop your ass. So you are paying the fucking repercussions for what your kid did in that car. Yeah, you ain't going to jail, but nigga, if you didn't try to go get insurance, that shit be tricky. Niggas go looking around for insurance.
But that's why I'm just saying with the whole the whole gun. I get it when it comes to something like this with the whole mass shooting and all that type of stuff. I understand it. I'm agreed. Just like with even that little boy who.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the clip. But no,
I'm talking about the one I think it was in Virginia or something like that, where they locked the parents up.
Oh, and that was in Michigan and in Virginia. It's two different cases. Yeah, in Michigan, the boy texted his parents or whatever the case may be. They locked both of those parents up. And in Virginia was the one recently. I think maybe it wasn't even a year ago. Because we was in here recording when the little boy, the 6-year-old, shot the teacher. Yeah. So both of those, but those two different cases, both of their parents is getting charged as well. But reason why I'm sitting here saying to me, I can't just pick that one, because again, when we talk about this Philly nigga, and I'm not sitting here, and I know it's easy to kind of brush it off because there's people looking at, oh, that's just some street shit and whatever the case may be. But that little boy who killed this 23-year-old was still 16 years old. He's still a kid, just like these other niggas. Is still a kid. Just because you sit here saying one went and bought the kid a gun and the other one didn't, I still feel like it's still bad parenting regardless. That shit, your kid didn't just wake up one day and just be like, hey, I'm about to just sit here and go smoke a 23-year-old. No, that shit don't happen like that. So I don't necessarily, like I said, man, lock all their asses up. Make motherfuckers actually have to be parents and have to step up to the ball game. Because like I said, if it's just a one-off and you actually are a great parent and your kid just did some bad shit, I'm sure people will speak up for you, and it will be a track record where the judge could be like, oh yeah, I see that you try hard, you working, you know what I'm saying? Let's be clear, you still gonna have to go to court for it. So I'm sure if your responses and how you show up as a parent, or the way your community feels like you show up as a parent, or how you show off as a parent in your community or in your child's life, people will come and be able to vouch for you. That's how motherfuckers do. Like, think about how people feel about when people still speak highly of fucking pedophile, all types of shit. You can find criminals like, look at how people still show up for fucking R. Kelly. It's trust and believe. If you do enough good in certain people's life, people will speak highly of you. So I think when it comes to parenting, if you are just a neglectful parent and you really not showing up in your kid's life, then if your kid go out here and do the crime, just like I said with the Wayne and Drake shit, and you got to do the time with this fucking kid. You should have raised this kid differently so they wouldn't go out here and be a fucking crash dummy. So like I said, going into that situation, because I know it is a real touchy situation, to me the story or the sentiments, the voices that I heard that kind of touched me the most and really made this story a lot sadder was this little boy talking about his experience while he was in school that day.
And he started shooting like 10 times. He shot at least 10 times. And then I ran to the back of the classroom. I dived behind the desk, and my teacher had got in front of me like he was guarding. But like the gunshots were so close to me, like my ears started ringing real bad. Like the whole classroom was smoking, like, and everything. And then when he finally got out of the classroom, my teacher started barricading the door with desks and bookshelves and all that, and then I had got up. I had saw one of my classmates on the ground bleeding so bad, and then when I had moved myself to the other side of the room, because the bookshelf I was hiding behind, it was right in front of the door, so I had moved to the other side, to like this side with my friend. I was checking on my other friend because he got grazed in his leg. And then there was a white girl that was in front of me. She got shot in her leg and stuff. And then my other friend got shot in her stomach. And it was just so sad, stuff like that.
Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lot to process.
Yeah.
And you're so young. You're how old?
14.
That's so much to have to process in class where you're supposed to feel safe.
Yeah.
How are you doing now? I mean, what's going through your mind?
Like, it just keep replaying back in my head. I just thank God that I wasn't the one that got hit, you know. Like, in the midst of all of it happening, I was just thanking God because, you know, he had his hands around me and stuff like that. Because
Bro, he is 14. This is sometimes, listen to what I'm saying. And I know sometimes when we be talking, I think a lot of times when we talk, we try to really put ourselves in human shoes. Dog, do you listen to what I'm saying? I came on here and told y'all I got in punishment a lot when I was in high school. Dog. So at 14, that's the 9th grade. Dog, do you know how childish and kiddie I was at 14 years old? I'm in the house playing with G.I. Joe, playing wrestling men, and still playing WCW on fucking Nintendo 64. I wasn't thinking about no fucking guns. I didn't have to worry about no shit like that. So imagine how fucked up these kids gonna be at 14. This is the 9th grade. You're 14 years old, dog. You're in the 9th grade. Do you, like I said, I'm playing with toys and video games, like kitty ass video games at 14 years old, dog. And listen to what I'm telling you. The older I got and you started to go through high school, and because of course we didn't live in a great neighborhood, so yeah, you start to, maybe by like the 10th and 11th grade, I started to lose friends in the neighborhood from gun violence and shit like that. And it's so fucked up is because by the time I started to lose older family members, them tears was already gone because I lost friends when I was in high school. So you're talking for somebody in 14, you experience, I'm talking about people you in a classroom that ain't no school year and nothing, not even a month in for nobody. I don't give a fuck when you went to school.
Man.
So you're talking about this is brand new. You still got brand new, fresh shit that you wear into school. So your first year of high school, dog, this shit is going to play in the back of your head for the rest of your life. That's why you have to start to make a stance where we can't just be like, oh, make the gun laws different and this, that, and yeah, cool, make the gun laws stricter, but start to sit here and punish people around. Treat that shit the same way people you treat niggas with the RICO, and niggas is okay with these drug dealers getting hit with the RICO. And like I said, when we talk about BMF and all the big meats, his whole entire family got hit, you got to start treating niggas out here who doing gun violence the same way, because how do you sit here and make people, because then when you start to know that people gonna hold parents to the fire with this shit too, and parents may have to go to, I guarantee you your parents won't be letting, when we talk about kids hanging outside until 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, when the little boy got shot for trying to break in the car, we like, damn, why the fuck is this 12-year-old 13-year-old outside at fucking 12 o'clock at night breaking in the cars? Where his parents at? So that's what I'm saying. If you start to hold those people accountable too and make them have to do charges with these kids, I guarantee you that parents won't be sitting here running out and sitting here trying to fucking mama still need a life too. I guarantee you that mama still need a life too, and you know that your kid out here running wild and you may have to take a charge with that kid. I guarantee you mama won't still need a life no more. I guarantee you won't. But mama can still have a life when it's okay. We're like, all right, fuck it. I wash my hands with you. You go out here and do whatever you want. It's cool because the kid only gonna get punished. But when the kid and the parent got to get punished because you sitting here really that you pass down so much trauma. I think 30 people got shot. I think 4 has passed, or maybe it might be. I think they said. I think it might be 1. No, because originally it was 4. It was 2 students, 2 teachers, and I think they said recently. I'm not 100% positive. They passed away in the hospital because of due to the wounds and stuff was too bad, or the trauma was too whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it, but they just somebody else died in the hospital. But my whole thing of it is, you cannot, if you start to punish the parents, because that's too much trauma, bro. You talking about I think 30 people got hit. That's all 30 kids, dog. Kids. You think about who the fuck? How you gonna tell me I need to go back to school? How are you going to convince me to go back to school?
Okay.
So this is just my freshman year. I still got fucking 4 years of high school. How am I going to finish high school? When am I going to get back on the right path? I'm in a classroom in a fucking dog, and you talking about this little boy. Did you hear how many people he said he just got shot in his classroom? He damn near said like 4 or 5 people in his classroom. And
it was one. They said, I guess the teacher went out to see what the noise was, and the teacher got shot, and the kids had to drag the body back, the teacher back in the classroom.
Bro, that's like some army shit.
But that's another thing. Like, even when they saying about the whole, they trying to ban cell phones in the schools and all that. But you just got to think about, like, it's sad, but situations like this, like, how can I get in touch with my kid? You tell me, even like, I think it was like last year with that shooting that they had, and they were telling the parents they couldn't come in there. Mm-hmm. But you didn't even have the police in there trying to stop anything going on there, and they were telling me I can't go get my kid. Mm-hmm. In situations like that, you need contact. I need to be in contact with my kid. You can't tell me no. And that right there just proved wrong. It was like, because how do you even calm somebody down in that situation?
You can't.
And you tell me they don't have their phones locked away. Just like, how can I reach? At least give me a peace of mind. At least I know that my child, is safe.
I don't even know if you're gonna have a peace of mind if your kid got that phone. You ain't gonna have no peace of mind until your kid is literally in your
face. But I just, but that's what I'm just saying. But
it's different not hearing from them at all.
At all.
No, for sure. But man, I don't necessarily know how. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see my kid. I'm sorry, I ain't no phone call gonna be able to do it for me, dog.
No, but it's still just contact. Hey, Dad, I'm all right, or just hey, just knowing that, all right, cool, I'm saying, I can kind of, all right, kind of breathe.
Just knowing that you hearing from them. It's not to say it's not a guarantee, but to know that I have contact with them.
Yeah, for sure, of course.
It makes you feel a little more at ease.
Because shit, just like that, even when the 9/11 thing happened, and of course, our mother worked right across from the Pentagon and all that stuff. Like, that shit was mind racing to me. I'm like, oh my God, I know my mother go over to the Pentagon all the time, during her lunch break. Well, she might have been there. That's that thought. You know what I'm saying? So when you see stuff like that, it's just like you saying, well, no, they can't have it as a distraction. But I feel like just still, I need that peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Just to even know, like, okay, you okay?
Yeah, but but again, that kind of, you could tie all of that back into parenting, because it's just like, yeah, parents should be able to put some type of pressure on their kids where you think about you can't listen to what I'm saying, and that's why I say go back to parenting, because the school not having, it should never be that you can't have, like, the conversation shouldn't be, do kids can they take their phone to school or nothing like that, because dog, we're not about to sit here and make it like we didn't have devices when we were in school. I never in my life thought about taking no fucking Game Boy out in no class. I think it goes to the level we talking about with disrespect when it comes to these kids, and we go to bad parenting, because it should never have to be a conversation. The teacher shouldn't even know the kids got no fucking phone. Because your kids should never pull their phone out in a classroom.
But you can't say that because sometimes they tell the kids to pull their phone out and research something or look something. They allow the kids to do that. So you can't get mad when they pull it out. Or you might say, okay, when you finish, you can get on your phone or whatever. Just be quiet. And then when they have it out, you can. You gotta.
Yeah. So I mean, of course. So if that's the case, then that is, I guess that is a conflict. That is a conflict of interest if it goes to that, but that goes back into where it got too cheap and motherfuckers got too cheap because it should have never went to, hey, do some research on your phone. It should be okay if we're gonna start bringing technology into the classroom, get a fucking laptop like everybody else.
But if you they do. But I mean, if you're looking at this stuff, like the school don't have the money to provide everything that the kids need. So yeah, it's like, okay, we'll look on your phone or research on your phone or pull your phone out. They let them do that. So you can't get mad when they pull it out just because. You can't say pull it out for right now, but put it away. Or this person on their phone, but you can't be on your phone. If it's no phone, it has to be no phones all the way across the board.
Yeah, I think it should just be no phones all across the board.
You can have them on you, but you can't be.
Yeah, you can't pull them out because it's just certain shit. Like, listen, what I'm saying. I'm listening to them. I have to be feeling like when we had these conversations and I really listened to them, I'm like, bro, I was a kid. It was certain shit I just could not do. I was not going to do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're not going to do. But then we talking. We gotta. We also got to think it's a different era. You got to, and I was having.
But that goes to parenting, though.
No. It's still not a parenting because you got to think about it. In our era, we didn't have no unlimited text messages, unlimited nothing. We had to pay for our minutes, so you couldn't be on your phone. You wasn't gonna be using your phone. You wasn't gonna pull your phone out because you had to pay for your minutes then. But now, yes, the kids do have that access. So that's what I'm saying. It is a different era right now.
But that go to just not kids not having I don't get what you say. I was a bad kid, but nigga, I was terrified. And guess what? My dad never beat my ass, but nigga, I said this on here before. I was still terrified of the thought of this nigga whooping my ass. That's just my point. It's just kids don't have no fear. They don't respect their parents, and that shit trickles down to when they leave out the fucking house. That's it. Well, I remember that, and you picked me up. I remember this time, and this was just when I was young. I was smoking boat. Me and my friends, we went to go break into a fucking four-wheeler shop. I'm talking, we got chased and walled off. Fucking Grand Theft. Whatever you ever play Grand Theft Auto, and it's the fucking highest stars, and how many helicopters and police come out. Only thing I thought about my whole time getting chased by all these police, helicopters out, dogs. I swear to God, I can't get caught. I didn't give a fuck about going to jail. I just didn't want my dad to find out because I thought I was going to die. If you was going to lock me up, you was going to have to keep me. So my speed and my level of running and hiding was not because I gave a fuck about the police. It was gave a fuck about I did not want to know what was going to happen to me if I got caught and how I was going. It's not about the police. It's about what the fuck my dad was going to do to me if I got caught. And that's what kept fucking running until I got away. That's my point of level of fear. You can see and say, yeah, well, you didn't feel your dad enough that you sit here and will did that. No, I'm just dumb. I was high. I was on drugs. But them fucking drugs wore off. As soon as you start hearing them helicopters, doom, 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 and these fucking all these police, freeze, motherfucker. Everything that was going through my brain never was the police. It was what my dad was going to do. And I don't think most kids today don't have that level of fear of their parents. And that's why they fucking try to teach us. Because if you was, that's what I never done. I wasn't going to no class. Like maybe if I I was talking and shit like that, but it was never on some disrespectful shit. Like, and that was probably I was talking in class because I fucking wasn't a good student. The same way it goes back into when I told y'all, my mom was like, you ain't going to college. I ain't wasting my money on this shit. You ain't do what you're supposed to. The other 12 years you was in school. But that all all of those things go hand in hand. So yeah, I'm like, are you a little mischievously can't stop talking because you don't pay attention in school? Yeah, because I probably just wasn't at the learning level, but it still wasn't a level of disrespect. None of my teachers were gonna be like, oh, Mikey was just disrespectful. They might have been like, oh, he just talked too much in class, but it was never no disrespect. It's never just sit here cussing and all of that. I just feel like a lot of kids just don't respect their parents, and that shit trickle down, and that's why the teacher's job is 100 times harder. And that's why fucking teachers be wanting to start TikToks and OnlyFans and all this other shit, because they be tired of y'all kids because y'all fucking kids come there and treat that shit like it's the block. I'm just sorry. Like, I don't, and that's why I said I ain't mad if they sit here making laws and start locking motherfuckers up for the shit that their kids doing, because be better parents. Kids won't do it. Like, I don't feel like that shit to me is crazy. Like, I don't put one worse than the other one. Like, if I'm listening to a 16-year-old sit here gunning down the biggest disrespectful nigga in Philly, like, damn, he's 16. They posting little pictures of him. He was on like the football team, the wrestling team, and all that. He out here smoking niggas. Like, what are we talking about? Like, when do that shit stop? I can't just sit here and say, oh, just because this one person is bad and he just as bad as a little white boy. The little white boy just took it to the more extreme, but one life ain't more than fucking however many kids this kid. Like, that shit fucked up, dog. I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to wrap your brain around that one. Like, yeah, that's weird. And real quick, it was some news outlet, and this is again when we talk about some